Our first matchup of the night, Twisted Fairy versus OFFSYDE Esports. Let's go. We do have our initial matchups, we do have our initial lineups here. Twisted Fairy, of course, a kind of collaboration between Little Fairy and Twisted Minds, has a pretty hefty lineup in their own right. Meanwhile, we have going up against them OFFSYDE Esports, a sister team of Team Vitality, of OnSide, if you will. And we have our first matchup is going to be Rex versus Nice in a ZVP, and we are jumping right on in. And sporting in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Rex for OFFSYDE Esports. And in the top right, we have Nice for Twisted Fairy. Now, if you're curious, Nice did actually sign up and check in for our tournament for Sparkling Tuna Cup earlier today. But for those that are maybe unaware, Nice, he was asking us if he could, what would happen, of course, if his match did collide, and of course, WTL did collide with Sparkling Tuna Cup. Because of that, Nice did have to forfeit. He forfeited in our tournament because of his match here, because of WTL, because of World Team League. So because of that is why Nice was unable to compete in STC, did have some other obligations with this tournament here. Cool. And now we have some Taiwan on Taiwan action. Rex, of course, the best Zerg player in Taiwan, up against Nice, the best Protoss and the best player in Taiwan, most would consider. What I will say is though that Rex is a very aggressive player and very stylistic. When it comes to his WTL matches, Rex is one of my favorite players to watch. The reason for this is because Rex, he pops off. He's crazy. He typically comes up with very specialized and very specific builds to snipe players. And boy oh boy does he snipe. He took down Cure a couple of weeks ago. He almost brought down Rainer as well. Like, Rex, he has been a treat to watch in WTL, and I'm curious what kind of crazy build he has in store for us, but Nice. I'm sure he has something. I'm sure he has something planned. Meanwhile, shout out to everyone in the chat. I do apologize, of course, again, whenever we bring down the stream and bring it back up, we do lose most of our viewers, so feels bad, man. Most of the viewers do fall by the wayside, but hopefully we get everyone back. Hopefully we're able to build ourselves back up. I do know that I think it's Rotterdam and Steadfast we're covering live, and alas, you know, they aren't working with the delay that we're working with. But again, we're playing catch up here, and we'll eventually catch up with what is occurring live, I should say. But now we're settling in. It is going to be a Hatch Gas Pool standard opener out of Rex. Likewise, going to be a Gate Expand from Nice. So nothing too crazy for the time being. We're kind of easing our way into Crimson Court. When it comes to the format of this tournament, for those that are maybe unfamiliar, the way this format works is that the first map is predetermined. We pick our players first, and then the map is chosen for the corresponding rounds, for the corresponding lineups by the admins. By the admins, of course. The organizers of WTL. And then it's loser's pick. Best of 2, loser's pick. Oh boy. Because of that, we've seen a lot of upsets. We've seen a lot of upsets occurring in WTL. The power of loser's pick is a strong one. It's a strong power to have in SC2. And as a result, we see a lot of comebacks and a lot of crazy upsets from otherwise lesser players that can snipe otherwise stronger players with prepared builds. But now, Stargate opener from Nice, going for a Void Ray, actually. Interesting. Going to be a Void Ray first out of Nice. With this, our goal here is to shut down the Overlords, to keep the build hidden, to keep the follow-up a little bit more secret, a little bit more safe from Rex. What's it going to be? After the Void Ray, it could be just an Oracle into a standard game. It could be for a second Stargate into Mass Void Ray. It could be for Sky Toss into a Fleet Beacon. Could be for a Twilight Council into Glaive Adepts. We have options. Nice has a lot of options available here. We'll see what he goes for. See what he does embrace. This for now is going to be settling in. Vorday shutting down the Overlord. Oracle's on the way in the follow-up. We are expanding, taking third base, and that is a second Void Ray. That is not often seen. Interesting. Okay, Nice. You have my attention. Second Void Ray's on the way. We're going for another gateway. Curiouser and curiouser here. Nice. What are we cooking? We're cooking something. He's in the kitchen, Pat. He's in the kitchen. Let's go. does have the second Void Ray. Not embracing Sky Toss. We may build up towards a third Void Ray. We have seen this from Nice in the past. He has gone into like triple Void Ray with Adept Aggression. Curious as we get that. Wait, what? Double Robo! Oh my god, a Stasis Trap pops off. We catch the workers, we catch the queens. Double Robo follow up into double Immortal production, I imagine here. Nice. A very hefty army going Void Ray Immortal is wild. And I'm not too sure if Rex is going to be quite ready for this. As for now, he's keeping up with the Oracles, trying to maintain himself. Trying to keep up. These Void Rays, they do rotate around. They do hit that natural base. Catching an Overlord. Overlord goes down, pulling back. Lings, they do slip in towards the third. We are in position. We do force field, Ling's gonna be cleaned up, and they don't really trade well here. Nothing goes down. The shield battery did keep everything alive. Everything safe and sound. And with that, Nice, he maintains the defenses. Meanwhile, I assumed it was gonna be double Robo Immortal, but we have a Bay on the way. Where exactly? We're taking up quite a lot. Void Rays offended back. Another Stasis going off at the third base. Oh, Rex getting pulled apart here. Having a hard time keeping up. Stasis catching the drones. Queens waddling out. It is okay, it's going to be double Immortal for the time being, but from this double Immortal we can get into double Colossus. Double whatever we want. Oh boy. Army is massing up. As the army masses up, we see Rex embracing something a little bit different himself. Okay, so we're going from double Void into double Robo against Swarm Host. Bold move here by Rex. Bold move. Swarm Host are on the way. Swarm Hosts, they're going to be ideal against an army without Blink. If the army is less mobile, without Blink Stalkers, without any Phoenixes or much Sky Toss going on, then these Swarm Hosts, they can pop off. They can out-trade the Protoss. Despite the economic losses that Rex has had so far in this series or in this game, we can make up for it with value from these Locust Waves. Center base was taken, of course, taking advantage of the restricting gas geyser. There was go. No! Oh my god, massive connections. We catch the Swarm Host. Force fields run down as well. Another Swarm Host goes down. A brutal start here for Rex. Ay, not like this. We do catch one Immortal, but yeah, the Novas will zone back the army. Another Nova going to be going off as well, getting to double Disruptor production, not Colossus. Nice, he's having fun. He's enjoying himself here. Oof, another big connection. Yeah, and the Roaches, they just melt before the army of Nice. And we're just massing Disruptor. Crazy. So risky here. Again, Disruptors outside of their Novas, they can't really hold their own, but so far they're paying off. They're holding the line. More Disruptors on the way. Nice, playing this out in style. Meanwhile, we're still doubling down on more Locust Waves or more Swarm Hosts. Yet to really pay for themselves. Nidus does finish on the right-hand side. Does finish up. We'll be able to send that Locust Wave towards that base. Towards that natural. And we can try to gain some value here. Oh, there's no Toast's Pylon. Going for the probes. We do go for the workers. At the same time, hitting the fourth base as well. Yeah, Nice ignores the main army. He just goes across the map. And we do depower the forge. Yeah, we're just going for the base. We're going for the kill. Rex, likewise, though, does commit. And we're going for a bit of a pseudo base trade. And Nice, he turns back. Turns back around, takes down the center base. Racing back home. The Nexus getting low. We do snipe a Disruptor. A bit of miscontrol from Nice. Does bleed out Disruptor. The army rotates around. Zealots are still across the map and they catch another Swarm Host. And Rex is maxed out, but I do favor the main army of Nice. As Rex is working with inflated supply. We'll see if he can pull this off. Nova's going to be going off massive connections. Oh my god. Yeah, the connections are brutal. Again, the soup does lie. Even though Rex is maxed out, he's maxed out with Roach Swarm Host. Like, Nice has the more efficient army. 100%. In a head-on fight, I do favor Nice. That's only if we can get a head-on fight as, ooh, Robo goes down. And for now, Rex, he's just harassing his heart out. I mean, the win conditioning for Rex is to just deny the fourth. Deny the fourth base over and over again. Chip away at these fringe bases. And just keep trading and remaxing. Like, that's the goal here, Rex. He has to trade out. And it looks like he will catch a disruptor. He gets two. Two, barely three disruptors. Massive Nova goes off, but that was three disruptors going down. And remember, Nice, he just lost a Robo. He can only reproduce one disruptor at a time at this point. He's going to have a hard time rebuilding, hard time remaxing. So very nice pickoffs here out of Rex. And can he get another disruptor? He wants it. He wants it, and he will not get it. Whew. Barely not. Rex pushing in once again. Gets the natural, gets the cyber core. Does force a recall. Is gonna bleed out a lot of supply here. Oof, that's yeah, a lot of Roach Ravager going down. And does it trigger a counterattack? Does Nice push in? Uh-oh. Rex is not quite ready for this. We're gonna need the Locust Wave defensively if we want to hold on. Roaches are getting caught out. Yeah, and Nice. He's gonna be snowballing out of control again. Rex, he was up, what, 50 army supply, but it did not matter. Not against this. Not against the wave of Protoss. Locust Wave is coming in. And we're collapsing on the army. Take down the disruptor. Roach is coming as well. Not a bad fight. Oh, but the Novas are brutal. The Novas are brutal. Locust Wave runs out. And Nice, he cleans up the army, completely shuts this down, snowballing out of control, and Rex has nothing left. He has dead supply in the Swarm Host. Roaches, they're going to try to break through. Oh, the Miles. Ah, they don't connect. Miles, they barely don't connect. Reinforcements are on the way. They're coming from behind. No. Rex pinned back, forced further back behind his own third base. Locust Wave does complete just in time. Well, this Locust Wave may just be enough. The Locusts, they force back the Immortals. Oh my god, clutch move here from Rex. He's barely holding on. Ah, but only for so long. Yeah, Zealous, they have arrived to reinforce the buffer for the Immortals. And when the Locust Wave runs out, that's going to be it. As we can once again turn back around and fight the Zerg army. And you can see Rex falling further and further behind. You know, he was doing well trading and picking away at the bases, but as soon as Nice moves out, I mean, that's... what can we do? Like, Rex just wasn't set up for that. Could not keep up with that army. Despite killing most disruptors. Yeah, the third base goes down. And with that, it's going to be the chances for Rex to bounce back in this game. He still has some Swarm Hosts that are active, true. And there's a world where maybe he can snipe a Nexus with it, but outside of that occurring, it is an uphill battle. It is an uphill battle here. Nova's going to be going off. Massive connection on the Ravagers. Oh my god. A brutal connection. Cells have to pull back, and again, he has no economy to fall back on. You can see him shaking his head on cams there as well. He knows that he's in a dire position. Doesn't want to give up. Doesn't want to surrender here. We'll catch a Disruptor. Not bad. Disruptor goes down. Bit of friendly fire, but I mean, worth a Disruptor. Is worth a Disruptor. Nice pushing forward. We are collapsing in. But again, it looks like, yeah, the wave of Protoss, it cannot be stopped. Not here, not with this army. We have a final Locust Wave before breaking through the defensive line of Rex. GG gets called, and Nice will take game number 1. Whew. GG, well played. Nice does start things off with a win here for himself and for his team. And that was a brutal game for Rex. Again, the stasis traps were brutal. Just non-stop stasis traps at the third base was getting so much value over time. Likewise, Rex was... likewise... There we go. Likewise, Rex going for Swarm Host was a bold move, and it was doing okay, but never really gained any big value. We were able to pick off a Robo, pick off some Pylons here and there, a couple of Workers, but no major pickoffs from the side of Rex. And unfortunately, like, if you go Swarm Host like this, you need to make sure that first Locust Wave gets damage done. Sniping a base, sniping a mineral line, we need to get some big value early on, and then maintain that lead. Otherwise, it does get harder and harder, and yeah, Rex did struggle there. But now we're going to be settling into game number 2, and it's going to be Rex's map of choice. It's going to be a map pick here for Rex. And what exactly are we going to be going for? What do we embrace as we're going to be loading into Post-Youth? Oh my god, we're jumping in. We're going to be jumping in the top right-hand corner. We have Rex for OFFSYDE Esports. And in the bottom left, we have Nice for Twisted Fairy. Here we go. Nice. True. True, Bobby. As we do see Nice immediately going across the map, going to be denying that goal base, assuming that Rex would be bold enough to go for it. Again, we are loading into Post-Youth, and the goal base is a factor. It is a viable option to rush into early on as a Zerg player to go into an all-in. We can see that Rex is avoiding the gold, though. He's going for the standard in-base natural. Going for the in-base instead. We'll take the hybrid base. That's a better way of putting it. Going for a hatch gas pool, standard opener. And Nice at least can rest easy knowing that there is no crazy gold and crazy proxy coming his way. We can calm down. We can settle in. Can settle in. As behind this, Nice going to be expanding, getting into his own gate expand into Cybercore. And really my eyes are on Rex. I mentioned before that Rex usually comes in with a specialized build. He comes in with a plan. Usually a man with a plan. And we didn't really get to see too much of that in game 1. I guess the plan was to, you know, make use of Swarm Host on Crimson Court. True, to make use of the terrain and use it to our advantage. Here on Post-Youth, I wonder what he has in store for us. What are we cooking, Bobby? What are we cooking? That is the question. So we are going to be settling in. Nice. What does once again just double check that gold base to make sure it's not taken as a third as well. Nice. Very paranoid about the gold. Very paranoid. I don't blame him. Don't blame him whatsoever. As back at home, Nice is going to be opening up with a Stargate. Stargate opener out of Nice. Regular third base is being taken. Is confirmed by Nice as well. Is aware of what's going on. Is aware of the build of choice. And do we open up Void Ray again? As a reminder, last game we did kind of play a little bit in a more quirky fashion, going double Void Ray instead, which was wild, by the way. And there it is. There's the first Void Ray. Could go for a second once again. We'll keep an eye on Nice. For now, single Void Ray. Now, what I would love to see is a different follow-up. The power here of a Void Ray opener is that we keep the Zerg player in the dark, and it could be anything behind it. Or I say anything. There's a lot of possibilities, a lot of options available here for Protoss. So to make it look like the same build and just reverse course and just switch gears and go for something different is what I want to see here from Nice. As a reminder, last game, I mean, it wasn't standard anyway, it was a Void Ray opener into double Robo Immortal double Disruptor production. As much fun as it would be to see that again, I'm hoping for maybe Glaive Adepts, maybe a Fleet Beacon, maybe second Stargate, we'll see. I mean, double robo could be cool just because we rarely see that as well. Like, that was a wild build as well from Nice in that first game. So I'd be content with either one. There we go. Second Void Ray once again on the way for Nice. Rex going for an earlier lair. That was a 4:15 lair timing. Ooh, very early on here for the Zerg. And we'll see what that lair is going to be used for. That could be for Ling Hydra. That could be for Aspire and Mutaplay. Could be for Infestation Pits. Gases are being taken. I believe the Oracle does get eyes on the timing of the lair. Is aware that has been thrown down earlier. And it's the same build! Yeah, it's going to be the same build for Nice. Do you see what I see? I see two Robos and a Forge. The exact same setup that we saw in Game 1. So it's double Void Ray into double Immortal into Disruptors. Just a really quirky build here from Nice. And I'll be honest, we cast a lot of StarCraft here on the CranKy Ducklings. We cast multiple times a day, every day. I have not seen this before. Like, no one else does this. No one else does this quite like Nice. So I'm curious how this plays out. I want to see the ins and outs. I want to see the strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, the downside of this build is that we have a little bit less presence on the map early on. Just because there's no Bleak Stalkers, no charge slots, but it looks like we will deny the goal base. Here we force a cancel. Cancel on the 4th. Now, I was curious what the fast lair was for. We have an answer. Fast lair for Hydras. Hydrogen and Roach Warren have been thrown down. +1 range is on the way. We're embracing Roach Hydra into Lurker. Oh, it can lead into Lurker. Cool, as we force another cancel. Second cancel on the gold. The Bay is on the way for Disruptors. I would, if this was any other player, I would assume it was going to be Colossus, but because it's Nice and because it's crazy, I'm going to assume it's going to be Disruptor again. Oracle dips in, gets 2 worker kills, pivoting away. Does pivot away here. Just getting a full scout, gets eyes on the Hydra production, now fully aware what the lair was for. What the lair did entail. And upon seeing these Hydras, now we can make the choice to not go Disruptor and to go Colossus instead. Colossus would be ideal. I mean, any kind of splash damage really is going to be ideal against Hydras. Okay, we're still going Disruptor. It is still our choice to embrace the Disruptor. The downside, of course, of Disruptors is it's high risk, high reward. If your Novas miss, if the Novas whiff, then you're in trouble. If they connect, then you're good to go. And you're going to be good to keep it going. As Disruptors are building up, we have the Templar Archives on the way. That's going to be for Archon production. Potentially Storm. The Nova does connect, grazing the Hydras. Hydra speed not yet done. Catching 1 Hydra so far. Nice, still trying to build up, still trying to keep up. It's a kill on the shield battery. Ooh, but we are punishing this army again without speed. It's hard to evacuate. Hard to get away. Nova going off, catching a tumor. Another Nova as well. No major connections so far. Another Nova will take down a good chunk of roaches. Oh my God, we have so many Novas. A much better connection. Hydras and roaches going down. Again, it's crazy, but this mass disruptor style, it's so awkward if you want to be aggressive. Basically, pushing into purification Novas is so difficult. As you want to move in, you want to be aggressive, but the Novas does force you to back off. Force you to switch gears. And there it is, fleet beacons on the way. We are getting ready for Sky Toss. Now, how do we respond to this army, though, before Sky Toss comes into play? Vipers. Vipers are in production. Abduction's going to be ideal to shut down these Disruptors. And we'll see if we can embrace them. That was going off. Not quite connecting. And just keeping the army at bay. Rex playing with fire, soon to max out. Vipers have pops, they're gathering energy as we speak. Now, Will the Vipers be able to abduct, or will Nice be able to feedback? Again, he has High Templar lying in wait, ready to feedback as well. There is going to be a back and forth. There's going to be a give and take here between the spellcasters. It may even be worth just sacrificing the Vipers to abduct the Disruptors, but at the same time, the Fleet Beacon did just finish, and we're getting ready for Sky Toss. Nice is taking up. Roach Hydra does hit the left-hand side. Massive Storm will connect. Nova's going up as well. Oof. Yeah, brutal connection on the ramp. Yeah, Nova's going off left and right. We just pick the Roach Hydra apart. Mothership is on the way. No carrier production for the time being. Vipers should have energy by now. And we do catch it. Never mind. I was going to say we catch an Immortal. But no, it is saved. We do preserve it. Rex rotating around. Collapsing on top of the cannons. But Nice does hold the line. And there we go. 2 more Stargates on the way. Now we are actually building up towards Sky Toss. Vipers are revealed. Threatening a dive. But now Nice going to be pulling back. Pulling back to the safety of his Disruptors. And Lurkers, they have arrived. Nice storms here so far. On those Hydras, Never's going to be going off. Ooh, they connect. 2 Lurkers go down. Yeah, massive connections. We get the feedbacks. We get the storms. We're going to the Void Rays. Interesting choice. Void Rays are abducted. But that means we have no more abductions. Now here come the Novas. Oof. Yeah, 1 more connection is all we need. Takes 2 to bring down a Lurker. But now Rex, he's holding on. Push, force 1 Burrow, force it back up. He's gonna be forced back off here. And it feels like Nice is still looking quite comfortable. He's been trading very, very efficiently. Hasn't lost anything major. Tempests are on the way. Now Vipers have regathered, or they have regenerated their energy. True. Vipers can pop off. It's not going to be easy though. Not going to be easy. So let's say clean up the lanes. We can see Nice. Sorry, Rex does rotate over towards that. Towards that 5th base. Okay, next is being taken. Would you respond? Oof. Lurker goes down. And we do abduct the Mothership at least. Minus 300, minus 300. Oh, we barely get the snipe. Not bad. Mothership is sniped. Rex rotates towards the left-hand side. Catching an Immortal. Gets us around. Immortal is brought down. But we're still looking for better trades. The yoinks though, the abductions. Okay, we take down 3 Disruptors, but we stand in the storms. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the storms were so brutal. They continue to be brutal. Storms do pop off. But I believe we have lost most of our Disruptors. And do we have enough to break this defensive line of Lurkers? It's going to be a brutal trade. Nova's going off. We're running out of Immortals. A big overextension by Nice. He does overextend. And Rex, he takes a fight. Does take a fight here. Remaxing with more Hydras, more Lurkers. Rotating over. Nice did lose most of his robo units. Takes a long time to rebuild. Long time to replace them here. Yeah, and again, that previous fight was just not one that Nice could take. Good storms. But we bleed off every single Immortal. We only have Tempest left. Purely Tempest. They kite well, but that's going to be a kill on the Nexus. There's no saving this. No shot. No way. The base is going to go down. Zeltse can't engage on into these Lurkers. Rex is pushing through. Now, he only has 3 Lurkers, so he has to be careful. Doesn't have too much of a backbone here. Oh my god. So he pulls back. Bleeding out a Lurker. This is still very close. On the one hand, I mean, yes, we killed the base, right? Like, Rex, he denied the 5th, which is great. The problem here is that we have no Spire. We have no Spire, we have no upgrades, we have no Corruptors. Which means the Skytoss army is becoming quite terrifying. Nice has been building up Tempest, and he has not lost a single Tempest so far. The Tempest count is getting larger and larger. And the army, the quality of the army here for Nice is looking superior to that of Rex. We can see Rex just now throws down a Spire. It's a very late Spire, very late upgrades as well for Rex. And the Mass Tempest is just outscaling him. Vipers, they do abduct 1 Tempest. Not bad. Oof. Viper gets sniped. And without the Viper, the Tempest, they can reign supreme. And they take down more Hydras. They take down the Lurker as well. Rex, he has to back up. He has to give up ground. And Nice is being active. He breaks out. Does manage to break out. Storm's going off. The Tempest has to be careful of a dive. You have to respect the Hydras. Ooh, massive storm. Viper's coming in. Vipers are pushing forward. Ultra happens on the way. So we're building up towards Corruptor Broodlord Ultra. We're kind of taking in that direction, but the problem is that the upgrades are not ideal for Rex. We need time to actually get into this and invest. You can see here, +1 melee, +1 melee's on the way, +1 air attack as well, but yeah, this Ultra kind of Corruptor Broodlord switch, it's gonna take a long time to really embrace. And Nice is maxed out. Is maxed out here. Rex being forced back. We're just waiting for Nice to gain ground and actually go for a counterattack. Looks like we're waiting for just an extra wave of oracles to keep tabs on the army for the revelations. As Nice is taking another expansion. We're going for a big Lurker counterattack. Bold move here by Rex. Does hit the left hand side. At the same time, yeah, Nice, he ignores it. Goes for his own move out instead. Going right down mid. And the Lurkers are going to have to turn back around. Hey, we're trading a base for a base. Lurkers, they get the 3rd. At the same time, the gold does fall. And Nice, he's not going to stop. He's going to keep on pushing. We do abduct all the oracles. Some okay pickups. That's okay. Same time, Lings, they hit the 5th base. We have cannons and shield batteries. We're in position, and we're going for the kill. We're going for the throw. We're going for the main. All the tech is exposed. Upgrades still on the way. And Ultras, they cannot push up this ramp. There's so much ground army here. The Lurkers have raced back home, and what do? We can't push in. Like, this ramp is so brutal. It's not going to happen. Ultras are bleeding out, and Rex is out of position. He cannot push into his own main base. He's going to lose everything. At the same time, a Link counterattack does bring down the 5th. But all the tech is falling. The upgrades are being denied. And we shut down the Spire. We shut down the Lurker Den. Rex, he goes for a counterattack. He recognizes he cannot get into his own main. So he denies the 5th. And he's going for the 4th. Going for the 4th base, and Nice recalls! Recalls back home. Catches out the army, is moving out. Not everything was recalled. Nice's army is a little bit fragmented, but he's maxed out. He's maxed out at this point. Yeah, there's no way to deal with this. The storms, they blanket the army, and Rex, he's melting. He's melting before Nice. Cannot keep up. The base trade was the only hope. GG gets called, and Nice will take a 2-0 lead in this best of 7 team league match. Whew. GG, well played. Oh, nice. Will take the lead here, and we are getting ready for the rest of the matchup here. Oh my god, look at the lineups. I didn't even notice, but HeRoMaRinE, Big Gabe, is making his debut. Up next, we have Firefly versus Stats, followed by HeRoMaRinE versus Classic in a TVP. But a strong start for Twisted Fairy. A very strong start. Twisted Fairy, they do start off with a 2-0. Up next, though, we have a PvP between Firefly and Stats. I want to believe that OFFSYDE Esports can bounce back. Firefly is the ace player for his team. At least he was. Now that might be Big Gabe. I think I do lean towards that, actually. So Big Gabe might be our new ace player here to lead the charge. But we're saving him for last. We're saving him for last. As for now, we're getting ready for our PvP for Firefly versus Stats. Let's go. Here we go. Game 1 is going to be on Alkione. And I remember for the predictions, this was a hard one to call. I think I went for the 1-1 for this matchup. But here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have Firefly for OFFSYDE Esports. In the bottom left, we have Stats for Twisted Fairy. Here we go. We have our PvP. And this could go either way. I do kind of favor Firefly here. I know Stats is an amazing player, don't get me wrong, but Firefly has been popping off. He's been on fire specifically in this matchup. And if there were anyone to bring it back for OFFSYDE Esports, it would be Firefly. It would be. Now they are settling in. We are going to be settling in. So we have our PvP, and we do have our 2-gate opener here from both players. We do have our probes moving out across the map, but they should only be used to scout. I say that, Stats, where are we headed? Where are we going? I don't know if you can see on the minimap, but Stats, he's going to the center of the map, and he's mining through the mineral patch. He is going to the right-hand side. He's setting up for a proxy, what looks to be a proxy Stargate. Oh boy. Pylon has been thrown down, and the probe, we're sticking around to double it down even further. To head for that Stargate. We'll see if they can. Oh my god, my apologies, not a Stargate. We're going for a Robo, okay. Proxy Robo at a Stats, 1 base all in. Let's go. It's all or nothing here. It's going to be a fast PvP. It's beautiful. I mean, we had some back and forth long finals earlier between Geralt and Christiana, but now we're embracing a more chaotic, dynamic Korean PvP instead. I appreciate it. Meanwhile, Firefly, he does find that the wall has been pried open, and he does scout. Big moment here for Firefly. Does confirm the build, does confirm the proxy. Firefly is aware, but merely that is half the battle. Knowing is half the battle. Now it comes down to the execution. Defensive Robo gets thrown down immediately. Good response so far from Firefly. He's aware of what's going on. We have a Robo on the way for defensive Immortals. We have our own shield battery as well. Sentries are amassing. And Firefly, so far, so good. Is responding quite well to this. Sats on the flip side, getting into an Immortal first, then into a War Prism to juggle across the map, or actually to just break down those rocks. Firefly has expanded, so there's even that much more pressure on Stats to pull off the all-in. It's all or nothing. All or nothing for Stats. The Immortal has arrived. Prism's on the way. We're going for a Disruptor follow-up. Oh my god. That is a Bay. So Stats is going for Robotics Bay behind this, working towards Disruptors. Bold move here by Stats. Going 1 base Disruptor. Stats does poke in. Reinforcing with the War Prism. Is moving out. And even dropping into the main. The Firefly a bit out of position here. Is getting caught out. Duplicate for Pylon. Going for the Stalker as well. There is no shield battery, and Firefly is being overwhelmed. Nice juggling here from Stats. Takes down 2 Stalkers and pulls back. Does pull away. So some good trades, but we still are looking for more damage. Meanwhile, we have one more Immortal on the way, and I believe it's going to be the Disruptor thereafter. Yeah, there we go. Disruptor is on the way. Which is a crazy play here out of Stats. Is it going to pay off? Likewise, Stats juggling against the army. Does juggle, does bring in 2 more Immortals. The longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Firefly. He still has a better economy, still has, as a result, additional warp ins. But the main base has been so vulnerable here for Firefly. He's barely keeping up. And still no safety shield battery. It is concerning. There we go. Disruptor does rotate over. Nova's going to be going off. The Nova! Oh my god, takes down 2 sentries. Good trade. Solid value here. 4 stats. Brings down 2 sentries. Full of energy. The Disruptor is revealed. Firefly is in trouble. Is in a lot of trouble here. Adepts threaten the shade. Yeah, just pulling Firefly apart, caught out of position. And we do commit. Overcharge is popped though. And we have the overcharge, we're holding on. Firefly does hold the line. When Firefly saw the Disruptor, he did respond with the Stargate, going for either Void Ray or Phoenix. Phoenixes are a good way to just kind of render those Disruptors inert. But here we go, now we have 2 Novas. And Nova looks like it does not connect. We barely focused on the Disruptors. Clutch micro there from Firefly. And he's holding. With the help of the shield battery, we're barely holding on. As Immortals are still doing a lot on the back line. Adepts are breaking through. We don't have enough of a Gateway Army. We have only Immortals left. Yeah, only Immortals for Firefly. It looks like Stats has done it. He's broken the natural. Got on top of the pylon. Breaking through. Again, despite these Immortals, it's not enough for Firefly. Stats, he shades into the main. Firefly trying to keep up. Probes are going down. So much economic damage. And Stats even shades out of the main. Now, Firefly still has a base, so even though he's down in workers, he can recover. He can replace those probes. True. At the same time, quick moves out of Firefly does fully wall off. Chasing down Stats. And I'm still impressed here that Firefly has maintained these Immortals for as long as he has. Yeah, very impressive. Juggling his heart out, but alas, still cannot get on top of that final Immortal. Still barely cannot. As the Phoenix has arrived, we'll help deal with at least the Warp Prism. As I say, that Stalkers do get a lot of hits in. Phoenix has to be careful. Ooh, taking a lot of damage. Firefly flexing his control. Again, very impressive that he's juggled and preserved all these Immortals for so long. But one Immortal finally goes down. And there's only so much we can micro here. Firefly able to replace some of those workers. Second Phoenix has arrived. With 2 Phoenixes, we can actually CC those Immortals, but that's 3 Immortals for Stats. And no shield battery. And no shield battery, no overcharge. We have to give up on the natural. Stats, he has control. The base is taking a lot of hits, but we do go for the Prism. We go for the dive. And it looks like we barely do get it. We trade a Phoenix for a Prism. Worth it here for Firefly. Is worth it, but again, still barely has an army to work with. I should say, barely has any kind of buffer for his Immortals. As Firefly supply blocked. Down in workers, down in economy. He's going for his own counter attack though. He'll be diving on the Robo. And he will catch he will get the pylon. It does depower the Robo. Nice pick off. As we can see Firefly juggling against those stalkers, trying to focus them down. Does get away. And this does give Firefly a lot of breathing room. He can re-expand. Can now expand. As stats, he's got the faster natural. Does recall back home. Does go for the recall. Ooh, this juggling not quite going to be enough to bring down those immortals. Phoenix is on the way. Uh-oh. And with those Phoenixes, we can potentially get an immortal here, or just go for the probes. That's going to be close. Immortal taking a lot of damage. Drop comes back in. Phoenix is on the way. Oh my god, as Firefly barely maintains his army. At the same time across the map, we deny the expansion. And the Immortal survives. The Immortal does survive. Good pick off out of Firefly. Brings down the Phoenix. Does bring it down once again, lifting the Immortal. And Firefly, he's out trading stats. No! Missed control. We trade 1 for 1. Not ideal. We lose another Immortal as well. Firefly fumbling the ball here. Losing both Immortals. Oof. And yeah, with that we have an even trade. Stats has a base, Firefly does not, and suddenly Firefly is all in. And those are some brutal losses for Firefly. Again, losing both Immortals. Things are a little bit too chaotic. Does find the Prism once again. Not bad. Ooh, once again a Prism for a Phoenix. Still a better trade for Firefly. Does shut down the Robo. Lucas to make economic damage. Some probes. Every worker at the natural, not bad. Prisms coming in. Firefly expanding. I would give the edge to stats here, but Firefly has a lot of potential with his army. With the Prism drop alongside, of course, the Phoenixes. As long as we can maintain this Prism and maintain these Immortals. Meanwhile, we have the counter Phoenixes. Uh-oh. And the Phoenixes, they can lock down the army. They can shut down the Prism. Do we have a recall? If not, it's going to be a one-way trip. It's going to be one-way here. With the Phoenixes, they will trade. Immortals are going down. Losses the Firefly can't quite afford, though. Yeah, he loses 2 Immortals. Does reset the Phoenix count of stats. Not bad. Likewise, stats down to 13 probes. May have a second base, but his saturation is not ideal. 13 workers, 4 stats. This is still very close. Very close between these players. Natural is retaken. I would love to see some shield batteries for now. Sentries are morphing in. To force field to reinforce. Yeah, we can see Firefly. Ooh, almost getting a sentry. Almost. Force fields are thrown down. So far, it looks like a better trade for Firefly. Yeah, he zones away the Immortal, shuts down the initial sentries. And Firefly is just out trading stats. And it looks like Firefly, he's done it. He lifts up all the Immortals. It was a very tense game, very close, very back and forth. It started with Proxy, Robo into Disruptors of all things. Into Disruptors with some crazy novas going off. Firefly, he lost his natural. Stats got a kill. Stats also sniped 2 of those Immortals as we were of course attempting to micro. But Firefly, he brought it back. He did bring it back in the end. He expands, he shuts down the army. Firefly has a massive lead, both in the economy and the army supply. And it looks like we should be able to close it out from here. Firefly keeps most of his army back at home, but he's going to be harassing. He's going to be harassing across the map instead. Adepts towards the natural. Drop into the main. Workers we cannot afford to lose. And with that, we get 6 more probe kills. And we're not done. We're just pulling stats apart. even going for the Stalkers. We get one, we get two. And two Stalkers going down. Firefly just snowballing out of control, picking up another Stalker. GG gets called, and Firefly, he does it. He takes game number 1. Oh my god. Oh, the celebration. The sunglasses. Oh, easy, Papi. He was ready as well. You know, the Firefly, he saw the lineup, he saw stats, and Firefly, he went out of his way to buy sunglasses just for this moment, just for the celebration. GG, Papi. GG, well played. Whew. Firefly takes game number 1, takes a lead here against Stats. I mentioned before that if there was anyone on OFFSYDE Esports to put a point on the board to fight back for their team, it's always Firefly. It's always Firefly. Firefly, who was favored here against Stats, or at least I think most of us did predict Firefly to at least get a 1-1. But now the pressure is on. Now Stats, he's angry, he's upset. How do we respond? Can we bounce back and tie up the series, or will this be a 2-0 in favor of Firefly? We're here to find out. We are here to find out. Assassin's getting ready. Oh, sipping on that coffee. Let's go. And we have our map of choice. It's going to be Oceanborn. Oceanborn is coming up next. Is going to be coming up next year. We'll see what Sass has in store for us, what he has planned. As in the bottom right hand corner, we have Firefly for OFFSYDE Esports. And in the top left, we have Stats for Twisted Fairy. Whew. Here we go. Here we go. As we are going to be settling in. I'm actually curious. I'm checking our prediction channel. What did we go for? 1-1 for Firefly and Stats. 2-0. Oh my god, we had some people going 2-0 for Firefly. Did anyone go 2-0 for Stats? That I'm curious about. The answer, I believe, is no. Okay. Everyone in our Discord server, we do host our predictions every single week for WTL, and everyone either went 1-1 for this series or 2-0 for Firefly. There were a couple of 2-0s for Firefly. Bold predictions, Bobby. Bold predictions. Yeah. And we'll see who ends up winning those predictions in the end. Who does take it? Is it the 1-1 or the 2-0? As for now, we are settling in. Is going to be a 2-gate opener for both players, for both Stats and Firefly. Is going to be 2-gate openers, and Stats once again going for a proxy pylon. Now, last game, this was a proxy pylon for a 1-base all-in. This time, based on its positioning, this should just only be a proxy Stargate, maybe a proxy Twilight Council. We'll wait for the Cybercore. Because of its position, an Oracle would make sense, and yep, there it is. Stargate, it's going to be Oracle. So proxy Stargate Oracle opener out of Stats, meanwhile a regular Stargate Oracle opener out of Firefly. Similar builds, but the downside is that you can see the Firefly, he's looking, he's scouting, he's scouring the map right now. Firefly knows that there's a proxy, and he's trying to figure out what exactly it is and where it's going to come from. Again, Firefly did scout earlier. He confirmed that the second pylon was missing. That's why he's looking, and it looks like Firefly will find the proxy. Or will he? Oh no, he's so close. He's right next to it. Papi, one step to the right. Oh my god. And oh, we check. There we go. We confirm. Big scout there from Firefly does confirm the opener, and because both players scout each other, both players see the Stargates. That means not Oracle, Phoenix. Phoenix Wars have begun. Again, because both players scout each other, if you go Oracle and your opponent goes Phoenix, then your Oracle just dies and you just get no value. So Phoenix production has begun, and Phoenix production will not stop. This is the beginning of Phoenix Wars. Now, Stats has a big disadvantage. Because of his proxy location, reinforcing with Phoenixes is going to be awkward. It's going to be a little bit awkward, and it's not going to be easy to defend our bases. So Stats is in a bit of a more precarious situation here. Precarious spot. And we'll see if we can recover as Firefly is expanding. Chilling back at home, he's got his Stalker to reinforce. Likewise, Stats also coming in with his ground army as well. Is coming in. Adepts, they threaten the shade towards the main. They don't commit. Not yet. Very big commitment. As you can see, Firefly just trying to wait out those Adepts, and we do commit! Yeah, 1. We get 2 probe kills. 3 even. Not too bad. 3 probes. 4 probes even, as Stats does pop up with the Phoenixes. But he's getting caught out. Oh! Does throw the tables. Very close here, but it looks like Stats, will he come out on top? He will not. We trade 1 for 1. I say that we trade 3 for 3. Oh my god. And Stats, he will barely come out on top. He takes out the final Phoenix. That's a big win for Stats. Stats barely coming out ahead. A second Stargate's on the way. Stats doubling down on Mass Phoenix. Meanwhile, Firefly has yet to take in either direction. Has yet to take, just for now, focusing on his own Phoenixes. With reinforcements on the way, Stats, he's catching Firefly out. Big overextension. Another Phoenix falls. Firefly in a bit of trouble, but does reinforce with Stalkers. And with the help of these Stalkers, we can actually take control of the base, or of the proxy. It's going to be close. It's going to be close here. We have another wave of reinforcements on the way. We dive with a Phoenix. Feast goes down. And it looks like Stats should barely have enough. I say that the Stalkers, they hold their own. They do hold their own. Zealots coming in to reinforce. But they're slow lots. It looks like we can focus on the pylon. Yeah, we depower the Stargate. And Firefly with the Mass Stalker, he's overwhelming Stats. Oh boy. Is overwhelming him. Rallying across the map, we have a Robo follow-up for Firefly. Getting into Immortal production. Stats does bring down the Phoenix at least. With that, Firefly should be aware that we did have a second Stargate. More Phoenixes on the way. It's going to be close. But alas, Stats will hold on. Shuts down the Stalkers. Yeah, Firefly just now goes for the Twilight Council. That's going to be delayed blink for Firefly. He has to back off. So I want to give the edge to Stats. Stats, he's got the higher worker count because he killed more probes earlier. He maintains his economy. Stats, he's already got Blink on the way. Dark Shrine on the horizon as well for Stats. He has an economic lead and a tech lead. And Firefly is up against the wall. And it looks like we might just go for it all in. That is a 4 gateway explosion for Firefly. He avoids his expansion, doubles down on more gateways. Dark Shrine now on the way as well. Ooh, that's 2 more gates! That's 8. It's going to be an 8 gate all in. Firefly just doubling down here on Mass Zealot. And even DTs. And it's a bit of a Hail Mary play for Firefly. We'll see how well it works out. Meanwhile, instead of throwing down gateways, again, Stats expanded. That's why Stats he maintains and furthers his economic advantage. Big scout from Firefly. Does confirm the Dark Shrine. Both players do. Both players scout each other. Both players are aware. And we should be getting detection. Yeah, we have the Observer. Observer's already out. DTs shouldn't get much done as long as detection and the army's in position. But we're just waiting for Firefly to get his warpins going. We are just waiting. You can see Firefly setting up his expansion, but the gateways are about to kick in. There we go. Zealots are amassing. Archons. Archons are morphed in. Getting ready for our move out. Ooh, we do trade out the observers. That's a really clutch moment, actually. Yeah, we fake out the third. No third base whatsoever for Firefly. He's going for the 2-base all in. It's all or nothing for the blue Protoss. Either Firefly ends the game or he dies trying. Either he kills Stats or he dies trying. Here we go. He is pushing in. The Prism behind this. Blinkstalkers are ready. Stats getting into Colossus production. Nice force fields, but we can blink away. We do blink away. Going for the base, but alas, Firefly is already running out of steam. Going for another big warping of Stalkers. But he's barely keeping up with Stats. Phoenix, they come in from behind. They collapse on the Prism. Prism goes down. We do kill the Nexus. The base does fall. We try to recall back home, but it's going to cost us 2 Archons. Oh, brutal losses. 2 Archons go down. Now Firefly expands, but Stats has a massive supply lead. And now is the time for Stats to try to punish Firefly and move out with his own counterattack. We'll see if he does. See if he does. For now, DT's moving up for Firefly. We should have an observer. I know they got sniped earlier, but I'm not too sure if they were replaced. DT's, they pull back. Phoenixes, they bust into the main. They get 4 more probes. DT's looking for another way in. Slipping in towards the natural. Cannons are on the way, but there's no observer quite ready for this. And we get some probes. Not bad. Probes are going down in the natural and in the main. And this is very quickly stacking up. We get 9, we get 10 probe kills. Yeah, the observer took a long time to rebuild, a long time to replace. We will look down 1 DT. But the other did well. 10 probe kills. We do hide it with the whole position. But when it comes to the main armies, I mean, Stats, he's got double the army supply. Double the army supply here for Stats. Ay, ay, ay. Sending everything across the map. And Firefly just can't handle this. I mean, even with shield batteries and an overcharge, it's going to be a tough hold here for Firefly. He's got less than half the army supply even. Does go for a big warp in. Colossus have arrived. Again, Colossus, they wreak havoc against the Gateway army. This is where they can thrive. She headed on over. The base under fire. Firefly just cannot engage, cannot commit. Stats just bullying the army back. We do go for the dive. We focus on the Prism. Prism goes down. First Colossus as well. And can we break through the second Colossus? It's gonna be close, but last no, we cannot. Stats, he holds his own. Breaks on through. He has broken the third base. Now we're pushing into the natural, and it looks like we are going for a tied-up series. We're going for a 1-1. GG gets called, and Stats does tie the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Stats will tie us up, but what that really means is that Twisted Fairy takes a lead. Twisted Fairy, they do take a lead. They're up 3-1, and one more game is all Twisted Fairy needs to claim the series. One more game. The pressure is now on Big Gabe. For those who don't know, this is the debut of HeRoMaRinE. Big Gabe, he is now making his foray into the Team League scene, into WTL. He has never played in WTL before, but he has partnered with OFFSYDE Esports. He has partnered with them, and now he's making his debut here for his team, for OFFSYDE, here in WTL. And not an easy opponent. He's up against one of the best Protoss players in South Korea. He's up against Classic. I know Big Gabe is big, true, but the chin toss, the chin is massive as well. That's the thing right now. That's the terrifying thing about Classic. Is I would say even the Classic is favored in this series. The problem is that HeRoMaRinE needs a 2-0. He needs a 2-0. Anything less than that, it's not good enough. It's not going to be good enough, and that will be the end of the series. Oh boy, we'll see if we can bring it back. We'll see if we can force the ace match. see if we can force it. As we are going to be settling in. Okay, rocking some facial hair, papi. Oh my god. We do have our TVP coming up next, and we have Post-Youth as game number 1. You can see Big Gabe, he has an ELO of 500. That is the default starting ELO in WTL, as this is his first time competing. And here we go in the top right-hand corner, we have HeRoMaRinE for OFFSYDE Esports. And in the bottom left, we have Classic for Twisted Fairy. Also, is the name no longer OFFSYDE Esports? Is it off mouse? Is it mouse off? It's time to mouse off. What's the team name? Do we have confirmation? What do we call this? Is it wouldn't be mouse esports. It'd be off mouse, right? Mouse off? I like mouse off. I like it. Offside plus Gabe. Oh my god. According to Wikipedia. Yeah, I mean, Wikipedia, they do their own thing. I mean, it's like saying that that it's Basilisk plus Showtime, but like that's just an awful name. It's Big Basilisk. Okay. Team Mouse Off. I like it. I like it. Gabe Offside. Aye, aye, aye. I mean, that's the name. Well, too bad. Get a better name. As we are settling in. We are going to be settling in here. HeRoMaRinE side. For now, it's going to be a standard opener here by Classic, going for a gate expand into his cybercore. Likewise, across the map, HeRoMaRinE going for an economic opener as well, going for a racked expand. Now, I'll be honest, we don't actually get to see many games on Post-Youth. Specifically, I'm referring to PVTs. Yeah, I'm just now realizing that we very rarely get to see this matchup specifically on this map. It is very, very commonly vetoed. This might even be one of the first times, actually. I'm just trying to... Yeah, I'm trying to recall. But we'll see. We'll see what our plan is going to be and how HeRoMaRinE does approach this. Again, we do have a hybrid base available for both players. The gold is going to be available as well. A lot of Protoss players are quite fond of rushing into the gold, especially off of an aggressive start to contain the Terran. That's the terrifying thing here, is that usually it's the Protoss player with map control, especially with a Twilight Council opener with a blink-based build. HeRoMaRinE double expanding! He's crazy! That's a third CC! Okay, 3cc 3 racks out of Gabe. Interesting. Now we see this a lot on maps like Side Delta. I guess some of the features of Side Delta are similar to Post-Youth, so we'll see if we can get away with this. So again, 3cc into 3 racks. It is a very greedy build leading into a stim timing. There's going to be a stim timing for Big Gabe, as I think we're still missing that third racks. Yep, there we go. Third racks is now on the way. So 3cc 3x, and we'll see how this compares to the blink-based opener of Classic. I imagine we're going to be throwing down extra gateways for now. 2-gate blink. I'm curious if we throw down a third or fourth gateway. If we throw down extra gateways, I'm concerned for Gabe. I'm going to be concerned here for whether or not he can actually get away with this build and make use of his opener. We'll see. We shall see. As for now, just 2 gateways from Classic, and we may just go 2-gate blink into a third, which is going to be ideal for Gabe. Yeah, we're setting off the expansion, and there it is. The third base has been thrown down, so we have an economic opener out of Classic. That is 2-gate blink into a third Nexus against a very greedy build from Gabe, which means Gabe gets away with it. Gabe, he does get away with his greed. He gets away with his 3cc, and that means he's going to be able to settle into his stim timing quite freely. So a very nice start here for our Terran player. This means that Gabe can actually embrace his build and make use of it. Reaper gets shut down. We do have additional gateways on the way. Now, when it comes to this move out, because we are aware of the gateway heavy style, Marauders are being incorporated. We have Marine Marauder working towards that stim timing. This move out can do damage, but because of the current setup that we have, we may just head into the mid game. This may just head into kind of like 3 base versus 3 base and a longer back and forth instead. It's kind of what I'm feeling here. Which race would be favored on this map? I would assume Protoss. I would assume Protoss just because of the dynamic between these two races, where I feel like the Protoss player can more freely take the goal base and take advantage of it. We've seen it a lot on maps like Royal Blood. Was it Royal Blood? A couple of seasons ago on these gold-based maps where players like Hero, Classic, Max Packs would very quickly just rush into the gold out on the map and just bully the Terran player. Here we go. HeRoMaRinE is moving out. And is looking to break the third. Likewise does Sim on forward. Shield barrier's not ready, but the force field's very nicely done. We throw down our force fields, we buy time, the first stim is going to be wasted. And the shield battery does finish. And we have an overcharge. We're going to pick this army apart. Overcharge is going to be popped. HeRoMaRinE goes for the dive. Does focus down the shield battery, and can he break through the main army? Boys are being pulled at the same time. They get across the map. SCVs are going down. And Classic holds. Classic, he holds on. He doesn't lose any workers. Very impressive defense out of Classic. Very impressive. And he even chases down the Marauders as well. Ooh, getting 2 more Marauders and cleans everything up. Classic, calm down. He shuts down the main army, gets across the map, threatens the mineral line, and I believe Classic is rallying across. He knows he has momentum on his side. Gaby's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble here. Charge is done just in time, but very crisp timing here out of Classic. Oh my god. Yeah, and he's snowballing out of control. He collapses on the main army. Boys are being pulled. SCVs are going down. It looks like HeRoMaRinE will hold, but it's going to cost him 7 SCVs. But he does survive. He holds on. Whew. He does hold behind this. Classic, of course, embracing additional zealots, more immortal production. Classic getting ready for that second wave. And now incorporating some splash damage of his own, not working towards charge, not working towards storm, working towards Colossus. As the Bay is on the way, Colossus production on the horizon, Prism into the main. Ooh, we do miss rally. Good pickup. Immortal gets thrown away. At the same time, Zelce busts into the main base, but we do react in time. We only get 2 SCV kills. Acceptable losses so far from Gabe. Does maintain his natural. And does defend. Does manage to defend. Behind this, Classic taking the 4th. He's going to take the 4th base. Building up towards Colossus. Until then, Gabe has quite a hefty bio army to work with. Now, the Observer does confirm the army, does spot the move out. So as Gabe moves out, Classic's moving in. So very nice timing here for this Zealot counterattack. As Gabe checks the gold, confirms that it hasn't been taken. Zelce head towards the main base and towards the 3rd. Uh-oh. Yeah, the Prism does siege up. Classic supply blocked. Ooh, that was not the time to be supply blocked, but we get into the mineral line nonetheless. 8 SCVs, 9 SCV kills. Ay. 10. Oof, that was brutal. 10 workers going down. Again, if Classic wasn't supply blocked, then he would have gotten even more damage done. Would have had a warp in. But he somehow, he does hug the edge of the wall. He hides. He does save himself from that Viking. And we do still have another warp in. So I'll say head towards that 3rd. But this time the army's in position. Yeah, they're going to be cleaned up. Much more brutal trade. Zelts into the main. Making up for our earlier losses. Getting 2 SCVs. Getting 2 workers. Now, what's important here is that this entire time, for the past like 2 minutes, Gabe has been stuck at home. Gabe has been stuck at home, stuck chasing down this Prism, chasing down these Zealots, and that means that Classic has gotten away with his 4th base, and he's gotten away with his Immortal production. His Immortals, his Colossus, 2nd Robos on the way. We're up to 2 Colossus already. Like, Classic is building up towards a more ideal army. Now, Gabe does have a larger force. That is true. But pushing into Colossus is easier said than done. As Classic is now taking the gold. He's taking the gold base. Gabe is building up. Again, because of the fast 3rd CC from Gabe, is able to You have an abundance of units to work with. So say that, we do catch the Vikings. 2 Vikings go down. Disruptive production has begun. HeRoMaRinE coming in from behind. Can we catch Colossus? Oh, the Colossus! Looking exposed. Nice force fields. Yeah, very nice force fields from Classic. He does hold the line. And he's going to shut down the Bio Army. And Classic, it looks like he's going to bleed out at least 1 Colossus. The Marauders, they stim in. They break through the store because they get 1 Colossus. They're going for the other as well. And it looks like we should have enough. Yeah, just barely with these reinforcements. The second and the third Colossus is going to be going down. We barely saved 1 of them. But those are some brutal losses for Classic. Oh my god! We sniped the Prism! The Prism goes down! And Gabe, can he do it? Can he break through here and now? He's barely forced back. But those are some good trades. Some massive pickoffs. He got all 3 Colossus. Again, bit of miscontrol out of Classic. He did not drop that final Colossus. Didn't save it. Now, what's terrifying here is that because of the double robo, Classic can rebuild. And as we can see here, HeRoMaRinE, he also had some brutal trades as well. So he does need some time to rebuild to remax. And it looks like that is going to give enough time for Classic to get his Colossus back up and running. So HeRoMaRinE, he didn't have the momentum he needed to keep going and snowball out of control. And that means that Classic gets away with the gold. That's a little bit terrifying here. Classic gets away with a gold base, has a bunch of minerals to work with. +3 is on the way for both players. Double disruptor production as well. Yeah, economically, Classic so he's looking quite comfortable. Likewise has rebuilt. And we still have a back and forth here. Still very close. A lot of these fights have been on a knife's edge. As Gabe rotates over towards the right-hand side. Classic is not in position, by the way. He's pushing it instead, and it goes both ways. Classic not ready to defend top bottom right, but likewise, HeRoMaRinE not ready to defend his own third. Reinforcements have popped out. We force a recall. No shield batteries. No shield batteries to work with. No shield batteries to work with. But the Novas do connect. 6 probes go down. We chase back the drop. Oof. Yeah, we catch a medevac. Medevac goes down. Classic's going to keep pushing. And HeRoMaRinE, thankfully, does rotate over. Does keep up. Catches a free disruptor. Not bad. Disruptor goes down. Classic rotating over. Does rotate around. Nova going off and massive connection. Yeah, we take down, goes to take down Marauders as well. Big connections here from Classic, and HeRoMaRinE, he plummets in supply. Nice EMPs though. Not bad, does focus down the disruptor. But here comes the Gateway Army. The Vikings are doing what they can. They bring down 1 Colossus, but not the other. And Classic, he can still keep pushing and still hold his own. I don't think Classic actually has to back off, I'll be honest. He's up in supply, has plenty of disruptors. Classic can keep the pressure on, but he plays it safe. Classic is maxed out. Gabe, he's struggling to hold on. But if given time, he can rebuild. Classic not going to give him that time. Nice mine shot. Mine does go off. Yeah, the Novas, they zone away the army. We take control of the third base. Oh my god! Massive connection. Massive connection on the bio, and Gabe, he's falling apart at this point. Did well holding on for so long, but alas, Classic snowballs out of control. GG gets caught, and Classic takes game number 1. GG, well played. Classic will take the game, and with that, Twisted Minds, or Twisted Fairy, will take the boy. Here we go. Alright, getting ready here for Crimson Courts. And because it's Gabe's map pick, I want to believe we can bounce back. I want to believe that we can threaten Classic. Like, Classic is the favorite player coming into this, that's true, but Gabe, he can definitely punch up, and he can definitely go toe-to-toe with a player of the caliber of Classic, especially on HeRoMaRiNE's kind of on his playing ground. right? I'm sure coming into this, we had a couple of days to prepare specifically for Classic, specifically for this scenario. And I'm curious what he was cooking. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have Gabe for OFFSYDE Esports. And in the top right, we have a Classic for Twisted Fairy. Here we go. We are going to be settling in. And again, I'm curious as to the specific build of choice here. Again, HeRoMaRinE, he had any map to pick from. Any map he so chose, it's going to be Crimson Court. On a map like this, the third base can be quite secure, so we could opt to be a little bit greedier here. Likewise, drop play can be favored as well, just because of the terrain. It can be quite difficult to punish and deny drops and chase them down. And there it is, double gas opener. Okay, double gas opener out of HeRoMaRinE. What do you have in store for us? Now, I am somewhat familiar with HeRoMaRinE. We have casted quite a lot of him during ESL Open Cup Europe, and of course, Home Story Cup as well. But Gabe, he has a pretty wide array of builds. Like, HeRoMaRinE, he can proxy, sorry, he can macro, sure, but he can also proxy. He can proxy, he can cheese and go all in. He can just spice things up and clown things up as well, if he so chose to. He has a lot of builds available to him, which is what makes him, you know, a really terrifying player. He is not necessarily one note. He is not necessarily known for like a certain playstyle, like Showtime, for example, known for like more defensive play, or Dark, known for roaches and aggression. Like HeRoMaRinE, he feels a little bit more flexible, I want to say. A little bit. So, once again, I'm curious what we're cooking, Pappy, what we're cooking. As for now, double gas into a factory. Is getting into the factory here, going for the reactor, and we'll see if we open up with something like a Widowmine drop with initial Cyclones. Curious as to how aggressive Gabe wants to be. To have the CC follow-up. Not going for the one base all in. I'll be honest, I was not ruling that out. I was definitely keeping my mind open to a one base all in. But it's not going to be the case here, thankfully. Classic going for a sec of choice, going for a Twilight Council opener. Twilight Council in towards Blink. And we do see HeRoMaRinE just getting into his 1-1-1. We have the Starport on the way for Medevac production. I believe the Cyclone is the first factory unit here for HeRoMaRinE, so we could just be going towards a double Cyclone opener for some drop play. We haven't seen that too often. It's been a while. Never mind. Okay, it's going to be Cyclone into Widowmine. This we have seen. So it's going to be a Widowmine Marine drop across the map with the Cyclone to support. Quite an aggressive opener here from HeRoMaRinE, and with good enough micro, we can pick off some Stalkers, we can pick off an Adept. We can get some damage done early on. And HeRoMaRinE is pushing. He is getting ready for his move out. Meanwhile, Classic just opening up 2-gate Blink. Looks like 2-gate Blink into a third. Classic already mining through those mineral patches, looking to expand at the linear third base. He is working towards it. Meanwhile, Gabe is moving out. There is a shield battery and an overcharge behind this. And we're boosting in. And we're relying quite heavily here on this mine shot. And on the lock-ons. Widowmine does borrow. Widowmine barely does survive. Nice target firing out of Classic, but did not bring it down. Widowmine going to be zoning Classic away. And the Reaper does slip into the main base. There is an Adept in position. We do defend. We shut down the Reaper. Very nicely done. Meanwhile, the mine shot could be baited out. It is baited. Focus on the Widowmine. One Stalker falls. That's an okay trade. It was a one Stalker for one Widowmine. But I'm sure Gabe wanted a little bit more than that. As a Classic gets away with his expansion. Remember, it was 2-gate Blink into a third. Classic's already got the Nexus, and behind this we have 2 more gates on the way. It's going to be a 4-gate Blink follow-up after the expansion. So this is honestly the same build. Same build from Game 1, here in Game 2 for Classic. Meanwhile, Gabe is going for something very different. 1-1-1 into a 3-1-1 setup. We have 2 more Raxes on the way. This time, Gabe is nowhere near as economic as he was in Game 1. He's being a little more aggressive. Ooh, as that is a gateway explosion. Oh my god. Okay, getting up to 6 gates. That's a lot of gateways. Do you have a 6-gate setup here from Classic? See Classic rotating around. Got +1 in charge on the way. Raven harass towards the natural. Gets a probe. Not bad. Gets 2 even. 2 workers at the natural. Drop threading the main. Get some damage done. Even catching a stalker. Catching 2 stalkers. Classic, a little bit distracted here. Is going to bleed out a lot. He's bleeding out a little bit too much across the map. I want to see, did he get the tank? He did. Okay. Never mind. Suddenly, it's a slightly better trade, but oh, that's going to be 9 probe kills. Oh my god. Classic getting pulled apart. Losing the stalkers across the map. 10 probes here in the main. And with that Gabe, he's running away with this. Now looking that much more favorable economically. Moving out. 3rd CC behind this. To expand, take a 3rd. And once we get into our 3-base setup, then HeRoMaRinE can move out. Until then, we're calming down. Calming things down. Lying in wait. Tank volley going off. And we're just waiting for all of our upgrades to really kick in. I'm referring to Stim, Combat Shields, +1. It's on the horizon here for Gabe. And it's going to hit actually as this army gets across the map. Okay. Let's go. Gabe is pushing forward, catches out more stalkers. Brutal losses here for Classic. We do have a wave of chargelets though. Yeah, and HeRoMaRinE backs off. Like, Classic, he wants to fight out on the map. He wants to fight on the map here with mass chargelet. He would completely eviscerate Gabe's army. So very important here that he's scattered, that he's scanned, and he backs off. Gabe does retreat. And right now, the name of the game should just be take our 3rd base. Maybe just rely on draw play as well. Gabe pulls away. For those that are curious, the dynamic, especially with Mass Chargelet, which is what Classic is working with, Mass Chargelet can really struggle pushing into entrenched positions. I'm referring to a 3rd base setup with bunkers and SimCity and tanks. But out in the open, without any SimCity, Chargelets, they reign supreme. They completely annihilate bio armies if they're out in the open. Which is why Gabe raced back home. Speaking of not quite sieged up, wouldn't mind Zubaro, tanks as well. Do you manage to siege? Forcing back the army. Now, because Gabe is playing this out a little bit more defensively after seeing the army composition, Classic's taking a 4th. Classic is taking a 4th base as we speak, so far unscattered by the Terran. HeRoMaRinE moving out once again, with a much stronger Widowmine army. Widowmines are a lot more ideal against these zealots. And we do push in, catching a stalker, not bad. Classic does reinforce, going for a drop across the map. Okay, here we go. Prism does move out, hits the natural. Same time, Raven threatens the natural base of Classic. Stalkers are in position. As I say that, 2 probes going down. We get 2 workers. The Prism. Okay, we're okay. We do get away. Oh, I spoke too soon. Yeah, it's a bold move here, Classic. Instead of pulling away, he pulls back in, and he bleeds out the Prism. Prism goes down. Zealots as well. Now, HeRoMaRinE doesn't have to worry about a backstab. Doesn't have to worry about a counterattack. As he's pushing out. Classic having a harder time. So HeRoMaRinE does catch reinforcements. HeRoMaRinE moving in. Classic has to deal with the minefield. So many mines just going to be going off. Oof, big connections with the Zealots. We do catch the tanks, though. Tanks going to be going down. We get a pseudo surround. But is there too much bio? Is there too much Marine Marauder? Yeah, the Colossus looking exposed. We stim on forward. We focus on the Immortals. Now we can go for the Colossus. It's close. It's looking so close. One Colossus goes down. There's one left. But with reinforcements, Classic is barely holding on. Is he, though? Still so close. The Zealots, they shut down the Marines. They shut down the Marauders. Vikings going ham. And it looks like the final Colossus, it barely stands strong. Oh my god. Whew. Classic holds. A very clutch defense there from Classic. Took a lot of mines to the face, especially early on in that fight. Especially early on. But Classic does barely hold the line. Gets away with his 4th, taking a 5th. He's rebuilding. Now, thankfully, HeRoMaRinE does escape with most of his medevacs, so he has retained some of his army from that fight. Retains the Raven as well. So HeRoMaRinE can keep it going. As the game is going to be settling. The game does settle from here. Prism barely got away. The mine did go off. And the Zealot run by, it's not going to get much done. It takes down the Widow Mine and 3 SCVs. It's 4 SCVs even. It's okay. It's okay. But the drop is cleaned up. Classic building up towards Disruptors. Likewise, HeRoMaRinE working towards a second starport for CC. Yeah, the game will settle down and we're macroing up on 4 bases. We're getting to our 4-base setup. When it comes to the main armies, we have, of course, EMP potential for HeRoMaRinE. Likewise from Classic, Disruptors. We're going to have Disruptors. And we'll see if our Novas can be anywhere near as good as they were in Game 1. Game 1, the Novas were brutal. But we'll see if that's going to be the case here. As HeRoMaRinE is going for his own drop play. Yeah, it does come into the drop. Moving out with 4 medevacs at the same time, and Classic setting up his own Prism Harass as well. Gabe hoping to come across the base, but nothing quite here yet. Doesn't find a Nexus, but can drop into the main. Now we do have a recall. We do have a recall available. We scan the main base, we go for the dive. And there's nothing in position at the same time. Those Zealots, they bust into the main. We're going for a defensive weapon instead. And Classic turning back around at the same time. HeRoMaRinE just pulling Classic apart. Hitting the main base and the 4th. The 4th base is going to go down. That's a kill on the Nexus. And Classic, he just can't really keep up with this. Now in the main fight, in a head-on engagement, I do want to favor Classic with the Disruptors. Show us the main army! Show us the Disruptors! Nova's going to be going off. Massive connections! But we bring down the Disruptors, we bring down the Colossus, and Classic gets caught off guard. We'll clean up the Vikings at least. A very chaotic fight. Very chaotic. Classic survives with 2 Disruptors. He lost like 5 or 6. It's insane. So many Disruptors went down. Probes as well. Classic down in workers, but he's going to keep on pushing. Getting to the 3rd base. HeRoMaRinE not quite ready for this. Never goes off. Oof. Takes down the bunker. Does take down the bunker with reinforcements. Looks like HeRoMaRinE, he has enough. He will defend his 3rd. Zealots are in the main, but mine just go off. Yeah, we're defending. We're holding. Gabe, he's cleaning this up. He's shutting this down. And even with these Zealot run-bys, it's not going to be enough. We catch more Disruptors. Yeah, Disruptors are going down one after the other. And Gabe is looking to fight back for himself. And again, even though he won't be able to win it for his team, he will fight back and redeem himself here in Game 2. As he has a massive lead, a massive advantage. Even with these Novas, even if we got like the perfect connections, Gabe would still have enough to break through. We'll see though. No shield battery here at the base. Shield at an overcharge. Army's coming in. Nexus is sniped. We just get the hell out of there. We load up, we pick up, drop into the main. And Classic cannot keep up. And not with this army. Rover's going to be going down. We have a solid counterattack across the map. It is going to distract Gabe, true, but not much more than that. And Classic is losing base after base, Nexus after Nexus. Just running out of steam. Classic down to 2 bases. He has bottom right, which I believe is hidden. I believe HeRoMaRinE has not seen that Nexus. Is unaware. As a result, has, yeah, a brutal moment. Gabe doesn't know. So we have a hidden base for Classic. It's keeping him in this, true. And I mentioned before that if a Nova connects that it's not going to be enough. We have 4 disruptors, okay? If every Nova connects, then maybe. And we can pull this off. Here we go, show us those Novas. First to go off. Pretty good connections. Third Nova doesn't quite connect though, and it looks like Gabe, yeah, with the concave, he's going to collapse on the army, cleans this up, shuts this down, GG gets called, and HeRoMaRinE will put a point on the board. GG, well played. Whew. Does fight back here and does, you know, have a nice debut. Didn't get the 2-0 he was hoping for, but as a reminder, this is HeRoMaRinE's first real foray into WTL. And this is his debut, this is his first time competing, and not a bad showing here, going 1-1 against Classic. Classic is, of course, one of the best Protoss players in the world, so not an easy opponent whatsoever. So GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Big Gabe. And I look forward to seeing more of Gabe in the coming weeks, in the coming rounds of WTL. It's not going to be easy, as there are some big teams and big names coming up ahead of him. But yeah, it's going to be a nice way to really showcase himself and, yeah, just have some more matches out there for the fans, for the people, for the viewers, and even for the casters as well. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be going on a very short break, and when we return, we will have our next matchup. We'll have Basilisk versus Shopify. See you soon.